What's up everyone, Ninth Jim here, back with another VGC 2020 Pokemon Sword and Shield competitive video. Today, we're talking about Quagsire. This Pokemon's actually pretty cool. Water ground typing is really sweet. Provides an immunity, a bunch of resistances, and only one weakness. However, that weakness is quad weakness, and it's a pretty prevalent type, being grass, so, you know, a couple of Pokemon will kind of just destroy this Pokemon. It happens. Kind of has that Gastrodon effect, you know? I mean, obviously, it's the same typing. But anyway, Quagsire has some pretty cool stuff, pretty well-rounded stats in general, pretty bulky with its HP being really solid, and then defense and its typing not really showing much weakness, which is pretty cool. Its ability Unaware is very solid, as well as its other ability Water Absorb that is just like, you know, doesn't take damage from water, heals up a little bit. You can get a pretty tricky switch in, but I just think Unaware is a little bit better. Unaware, what it does is foes' stats modifications are ignored, so anything attacking into you, you don't really care about its attack boosts or anything. So if a Swords Dance Pokemon attacks into you, it's just neutral, it isn't +2. And then same with if Quagsire attacks something else. If it's like a Mudsdale that's been boosted with stamina 10 times, you can attack it with Quagsire and it does neutral damage. It doesn't do any plus or minus according to that. So Unaware is a pretty cool ability. And then as far as our stats go, we have pretty well rounded. So HP 95, defense 85, and special defense 65. The special defense could definitely go up a little bit, but as far as defense and HP goes, it's very average, a little bit above average as far as HP goes. And just not bad in general. Pretty solid bulk. Using things like leftovers, and like, you know, you have like toxic, recover, like a lot of ways to really just be annoying and last a while in the field, which is pretty cool. As far as offense goes, we have 85 attack and 65 special attack, and then 35 speed. Overall, not that bad in general. And a couple of changes I have to my build that I'll go over here in a minute when we get to the build, according to the stats. Anyway, so yeah, overall, Quagsire, not that bad. It has a lot of pretty solid stats, as well as just like, you know, solid typing and solid ability. Overall, not insane. Like, it doesn't have anything that, it doesn't really bring anything to the table that's like absolutely insane. Doesn't make this Pokemon a high tier Pokemon or anything. But there's definitely, like, you know, good reasoning to explore this Pokemon of VGC 2020, and you know, past VGCs have kind of shown that this Pokemon can do some cool stuff. Anyway, that's going to be it for our overview. We'll go ahead and talk about the build itself. So, into the build, ability Unaware. I think this is just its best ability, like we were talking about. You know, just ignoring everything else. Things get really buffed, they can't kill us. And then things get really, like, you know, defensive, and we can still do the same amount of damage. That's a pretty valuable asset to have here. Next, we have our item Leftovers, really just allowing us to get a little bit of extra regen here and there. At the end of turns, you know, that 1/8. It can be a good bit, or 1/16. Why don't I know Leftovers right off the hand? Yeah, it's 1/16. I was thinking it was 1/8. No, it's 1/16. Still, that's a really, like, solid amount of HP just to come back every single turn. Then we have things like Recover and moves like that for good healing as well. So into our moveset, we have Earth Power and Scald for our special attack stab damaging moves. Now, one thing that I would probably recommend changing actually is the Earth Power in for High Horsepower or Earthquake. I think it's probably better, but we went with Earth Power for the build just because I invested that 4 into special attack, but that was really dumb of me because, well, actually, it's fine. Earth Power is fine. You can change it out, though, definitely, if you want to. So you can make it Earth Power into something else if you want to. But the build that we have here currently is running attack at 0 IVs, since we're not using any attack. But you can go High Horsepower instead of the Earth Power. We just have Bold so that we still have, like, decent speed. But you could go Relaxed if you want to, and then not have to go with you know, and then use High Horsepower or Earthquake instead of Earth Power. I feel like I made it a little confusing, but with the bold nature, it allows us to really use Earth Power a little bit stronger. So it's weird. Anyway, for the actual build, like the build that we're going with here, Earth Power and Scald, and then Recover and Yawn. Earth Power and Scald just being the special attack stab moves, and then we also have Recover and Yawn. Recover just giving us that regen with Leftovers being really solid. Protect could definitely land on this set so that you can offset your Protect turns with your Leftovers for a little bit better regen, but it's not needed. It's not necessary. And then we also have Yawn here just to keep things asleep. You know, like they can't really max lightning into your Quagsire anyway, so you can yawn and then potentially with another ally switch Pokemon, potentially keeping that out of play so you can keep their Dynamax guys sleep with yawn. It can be a really cool thing, and if not, yawn is just good. It puts pressure on things and keeps them down, which is really good. Next, we have some other good flex moves here. We have Liquidation, High Horsepower, Earthquake as, you know, our physical attacking moves. It doesn't have a lot of coverage moves. Some that we do have is Icy Wind, but it's more of a utility move instead of a coverage move, just because it's really good for its secondary effect, just lowering the speed stat of both opposing Pokemon. Icy Wind is really good. And then we also have Toxic, just to put walls down a little bit. It's really good in singles as well. In Toxic, just being able to do really good solid damage is good in both VGC and singles, and definitely is a good thing that could land on this set. And then we also have Haze, just eliminating every stat boost. I know that Unaware doesn't really care about it, but for other Pokemon going into them, you know, your partner Pokemon will probably really like the fact that they don't have to deal with a weakness policy Pokemon because of Haze. So that's another good move here as well. Anyway, into our EV spread. So I already touched on this a little bit where I made it the bold nature instead of relaxed. So it's minus attack. That's why we went with Earth Power. But yeah, we went for 252 into HP, 252 into defense, and 4 into special attack. And yeah, it's just very basic and very good. Like, it's just generally very, very bulky. 252 HP and 252 defense just makes the Pokemon very tanky as far as physical attacks go. You are a little weaker to special attacks. Things like Venusaur will just kill you, even if you opt to go for Rindo Berry instead of Leftovers. So that's why I went with Leftovers over Rindo. Yeah, pretty solid here. Just bold, just being as defensive as possible, especially physically. Next, we have a couple of synergetic Pokemon, and honestly, these Pokemon aren't super synergetic. They're just pretty good for it. So Togekiss makes pretty good situation. I don't know why I said that. Makes pretty good work of both Pokemon's typing. So Quagsire, you know, is immune to grass, or is immune to thunder, which is really good against the Togekiss. And then Togekiss kind of covers your grass weakness with Quagsire being able to just kill the grass Pokemon with Air Slash or Max Airstream. So that's a good thing as well. And also setting up with Follow Me on turns where you want to recover or set up a yawn is just good in general. Next, we have Incineroar, which is kind of just for the same reasoning. It covers the grass typing as well. Quagsire kind of just like destroys everything that not destroys everything, but like it puts off a lot of threats that threaten the Incineroar. And then obviously Quagsire also just enjoys Intimidate, Parting Shot, Snarl support because it's a very bulky Pokemon and just wants to live for a while. So that's also very good. Anyway, that's going to be it for this whole slide here where we talked about the build. Let's go ahead and talk about some speed tiers. So as far as speed tiers go, currently we are uninvested. We didn't go to the min speed, so we are at 55. You know, not bad. On the same speed tier as Clefairy and Mudsdale, most common Clefairy and Mudsdale. Not always Mudsdale. Mudsdale might have a little bit of speed or just be set for Trick Room, but Clefairy will always be like speed tying with us, which is fine. 55 is not that bad. A couple of things that do outspeed us is going to be Lapras, Jellicent, always, even if they're not hindering, they're always going to be. Gastrodon, most Conkeldurr will be outspeeding us. A lot of other Pokemon, or like most Gastrodon, when I say Gastrodon, a lot of Gastrodon will be uninvested, but some will be hindering and then underspeed us. And then, you know, we're at 55, so a lot of other things will outspeed us. Every fast Pokemon, every commonly average speed Pokemon, things like Arcanine, are pretty fast, but not super fast. Mimikyu, not super fast, but all of them are obviously going to outspeed us. Scarf Pokemon, Chlorophyll, like, no doubt are going to be outspeeding us by a lot, so yeah. And then things that we do outspeed, Rhyperior, most common builds of Rhyperior, some forms of Gastrodon being hindering, Hatterene almost always, Dusclops, Torkoal, Ferrothorn always. All those Pokemon are always going to be down there at that very low speed tier because they really, you know, only are really good under Trick Room. And not only, I mean, obviously Ferrothorn has some pretty good things that it can do without Trick Room. But yeah, Dusclops will always be set in Trick Room, and Torkoal will always be in Trick Room. So all those Pokemon are underspeeding us, but outspeed us once Trick Room is set. So yeah, and then you can always go min speed, go down to 35, and then be a little bit like better under Trick Room, but then against Trick Room teams, like, you have to just like deny Trick Room because you're going to be faster than all of those Pokemon. So yeah, pretty good. Not the worst speed tier, but not the best, obviously, you know. Anyway, that's going to be it for speed tiers. Let's go ahead and talk about some damage calcs. So as far as damage calcs go, I do have a couple of offensive and a couple of defensive. So first off, we have Quagsire Earth Power into an Incineroar, very defensive, obviously, very specially defensive and HP invested. Incineroar hitting 30 to 36%. This isn't a lot, but it's actually not bad. That's like solid chip damage on the Incineroar. You know, if you can knock it down to where like maybe just above is a Guava Berry or something, and then hit it with this, and you're able to take that knockout. That can be very good. As well as just applying like a little bit of pressure here and there with it is really good, and putting it in a range for really big knockouts with other Pokemon, especially under like Trick Room or something, being able to attack with it first and then using something else to take super effective damage and take out the Incineroar. So that's cool. Like not bad damage, but not good. Next we have Earth Power into a Tyrannosaur in Sand, hitting very low damage as well, like 28 to 34%. Not hitting much damage. And then also Earth Power from Quagsire into an Excadrill, hitting 55 to 67%. Once again, not very much damage. That's our best amount of damage. It's a guaranteed 2-hit KO against Excadrill, which is actually not bad, but like not great. And if it Dynamax and like weakness policy, then like oof, doing like 25% damage, 25 to 35, and then you just, like not much damage, and then activating weakness looks bad. But yeah, so yeah, we're not really like looking for a lot of damage output with Quagsire. We're mostly just for its defensive calcs. And next we have our only bad defensive calcs. Everything else is like really good in our favor actually. So first off, we have Venusaur Leaf Storm into our Quagsire, hitting a lot of damage, 285 to 338%. Guaranteed OHKO, very, very guaranteed OHKO. Even kills through Rindo Berry. That's kind of why I wasn't talking about Rindo Berry being the best on this Pokemon. We were opting to use leftovers because here, even an Energy Ball into our Rindo Berry Quagsire still almost guarantees an OHKO. So yeah, it's not good. The only really prevalent grass Pokemon right now, I guess there's like Serena that is, you know, physical, which Rindo would save us from. But the two most prevalent grass-type Pokemon currently are Venusaur and Rotom Cut, and they are both special, so and our special defense is much lower, so they'll still kill through Rindo, so I don't really think you should run Rindo on this Pokemon, just to go to show. Then next we have one more damage calc, one more defensive. This is really just to show off like Togekiss damage calc because it's the most used Pokemon. A max invested, max Airstream into our Quagsire, 0 special defense, you know, very low special defense, hitting 73 to 86%. This means that we're very bulky, like even against like special defense attackers like Togekiss. And I know it's not like the most powerful, but it's pretty solid and very used in the meta. So yeah, not bad. Damage calcs overall, not doing much damage, but not taking much damage. That's kind of the key. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Next, we'll go ahead and talk about our single spotlight real quick, and then we're going to end the video. So as far as this single spotlight goes, it's very similar, Unaware leftovers, and then we're running Earthquake instead of the Earth Power, since we're running Relax so that we can deal damage out with Earthquake while having still Scald to, you know, do a little bit of damage, but also put up a burn potentially. We have Recover and Leftovers for some heal, and then we also have Toxic to break down walls, which is good. Other than that, the same build except for 4 from the special attack is into special defense, just having really bulky features in general, having max HP and defense, and then Relax Nature just giving us that plus defense also. So in general, just really bulky of a Pokemon and not bad. Yeah, overall Quagsire is pretty cool in VGC. It's not very high tier and it's really low rated, but I think it's pretty cool, and it has some good abilities, some solid stats, a good move pool, but not great damage output, but it's pretty bulky. Honestly, I think Gastrodon does it better, but if you still want a cool Pokemon to use, not Gastrodon, something that's not as overrated and so used, you can use Quagsire. Cool Pokemon. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this kind of content, leave a like and subscribe. If you like Quagsire, leave a like and subscribe. If you don't like any of the above, still like and subscribe. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to you know, see any of these certain videos in the future, go ahead and comment them down below. I have a bunch of requests right now, so if you comment on this, you know, it'll still be a good couple of days probably before it happens, but probably like within the week. I have like 10 to 15 requests right now, so but yeah, definitely a request. We got more than 10 to 15 days as the human race, so you're good. We'll be good. It'll come up. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and that's going to be it for me. So thank you so much for watching, and goodbye. Thank you so much for watching.